The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Zuckett. Welcome to the program for this 9th day of May, Billy Joel's birthday, 2025. And today, as we get right down to the All-Star break, All-Star game begins Tuesday night, 7 Eastern time. It's a prime time affair for the All-Star game, so we'll figure out something else to stream on Monday. But 7 Eastern Tuesday night, the National League and the American League, and I think it's from Griffith Park in Washington. Anywho, the last weekend, the games beforehand, and the American League really is a 6-team race, 5-team race, whatever you want to call it. And today, we have the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are pretty much a three-way tie for first place with Detroit and Cleveland. It'll be Dick Donovan going for the White Sox and Billy Heft going for the Tigers on the old dingy picture for Comiskey Park because I didn't change it yet. We'll promise that the next time that I'll have one of the 4 copies of the new or of the new old Comiskey Park ready to go. So both the Tigers and the White Sox are surprises that they're in first or near or at first place going into the break, which makes the Yankees' task, even though the Yankees have been playing better as of late, all that much harder because it's not just one team. It's not just Cleveland they got to pass. They got to pass 3 teams to get there. They got half a season to do it, so it's not impossible. But the longer they go playing mediocre 500 ball, the tougher it's going to be. Anyway, Tigers, White Sox, right here, right now, on, guess what? A rainy day in Burlington. Like we haven't had enough of those recently. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois, it is the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So for the Tigers, this is game 75. They are 42-32. The White Sox are 40-30. This is game number 71 for them. And the first time that we've had a Dick Donovan start on the channel. By the way, beautiful day here on the south side. 14-mile-an-hour winds coming off of Lake Michigan, right to left, and 80 degrees as we get going. Donovan making his 15th of 31 starts, 8-4. In fact, his 2.09 ERA leads the American League. He throws a fastball at 85. How you doing, Big Dave? And a ground ball pitcher. Donovan having a great year, has a one-hitter. In fact, his last time out against Cleveland 6 days ago. A one-hit shutout and a 4-0 win. 9 innings, 125 pitches. Just the one hit. He has walked 2. Let's go Tigers. Let's go Bengals. He's walked 2 and struck out 5. So Donovan in the running for what would be an American League Cy Young, although I believe in the first few years of the Cy Young Award, there was only one for all of Major League Baseball. 116 innings for Donovan, just 79 hits. Call it mellow yellow. 35 runs, 27 earned, 8 homers. He has walked 26, and his 71 strikeouts is good for 11th. In the American League, here's the lineup for the Tigers. Harvey Keene will lead off at short. Earl Torgerson is at first. He'll bat second. Charlie Maxwell, who leads the American League in hitting, will play left field and go third. Al Kaline cleans up in right. Ray Boone, Bob's dad, is at third, batting fifth. Frank wants to play house behind the plate. He'll go sixth. Bill Tuttle in center will bat seventh. Frank Bowling and at second goes eighth. Billy Heft on the mound will bat ninth. And Donovan, who can give you 145 pitches, on the mound for the White Sox. Excuse me. The defense for Chicago. Millie Minoso is a 9 and a 7 in left. Larry Doby, a 7 and a 3 in center. Jim Rivera, a 6 and an 8 in right. Got to hack again. because I had a meeting yesterday, so you get Friday baseball today. Yep, and Demos is just mad about Saffron, and Saffron's wild about him. The infield, Sammy Esposito, a 6 at third. Louis Aparicio, a perfect 10 and a 10 at short. Nellie Fox, a 9 and a 10 at second. And Dave Philly, a 5 at first. Les Moss, the catcher, he is a 4 and a 3. And Donovan is an 8 on the mound with a .983 fielding percentage. Keene steps in at 326, 6 homers and 33 RBI. It is just a nasty, wet day here in Burlington. I was supposed to do Mother's Day with my mother tonight, and that's been pushed off for 2 weeks just because it is so wet around here. So here we go. Harvey digging in again. 14 from right to left, so coming off the lake and over the Dan Ryan. 80 degrees, a day game on this Saturday, July 7th, 1956. Pitch to Keene is a ground ball to Philly at first. Dave takes it to the bag, and that's how this one starts, 1 out. Earl Torgerson is hitting .291, 10 homers and 35 RBI. How you doing, Parallel League? Yeah, I see that. Shootout 24-25 came out today. So that's pretty good. Second round of playoffs. Good Friday afternoon. Another way to feel old Prince Fielder's son, Caden, at 20, hit a home run in his Arizona Complex League debut. What was it that Cecil and Prince not only hit the same amount of home runs, but the same amount off of lefties and righties? And there was something else that they did that was crazy. That was the same number. Pitch to Torgerson, and Earl draws the walk, so the Tigers get the first base runner. Here's Charlie Maxwell hitting .352, 12 homers and 39 RBI. Charlie pops it up, right side. Everyone running over. That's a well-hit ball. Is it going to stay fair? Rivera? No. And someone from the Vatican made that catch. The count is 2-2 to Maxwell. No, not going to do a Chet Lemon tribute. Pitch to Maxwell. There's a ground ball to Aparicio. Louis across the way to Philly. And Maxwell is retired. I knew that he was in poor health. Torgerson goes to second. He'd been sick for a while, so this was not a surprise. 70 is so young. K-Line at 324, 13 homers and 62 RBI. And that got away from Moss. Torgerson goes to third. A 3-1 count, 2 out. For K-Line, Donovan deals. And there's a fly ball to right that should stay in the yard. It will. Rivera is there. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Tigers leave on a runner. And after half an inning, Detroit nothing, Chicago nothing. In fact, this would be like a Chet Lemon tribute game because, although it's not his year, these were his two teams, Detroit and Chicago. And when he played for the Chi Sox, it was right here at Comiskey. Billy Heft, the lefty, on the mound, 24 years old, 8-4, making his 15th of 34 starts on the replay. His .336 ERA is 9th, and his 101 strikeouts is second behind Herb Score. Heft's last appearance was July 3rd, so 4 days ago against these White Sox in Detroit. And an 8-7 loss, he went the distance. 162 pitches, good gravy. 12 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned. He walked 4 and struck out 5. 118 innings for Billy, 112 strikeouts, or 112 hits, 48 runs, 44 earned, 6 homers. He's walked 48 and struck out 101. He does have 2 shutouts. He shut out the Yankees on June 20th and the Senators on June 8th. Here's how the White Sox will line up. Jim Rivera leads off in right. Nellie Fox at second will bat second. Minnie Minoso in left will go third. Dave Philly cleans up at first. Larry Doby is in center. He'll bat fifth. Les Moss behind the plate will bat sixth. Sammy Esposito at third goes seventh. Louis Aparicio at short will go eighth. Nick Donovan on the mound batting ninth, and Billy Heff can give you 150 pitches on the mound for the Tigers. Defensively for Detroit, Charlie Maxwell an 8 and a 6 in left, Bill Tuttle an 8 and a 7 in center, Al Kaline a 10 and a 9 in right, Ray Boone a 5 at third, Harvey Keene a 6 and a 7 at short, Frank Bowling is an 8 and a 6 at second, Earl Torgerson is a 6 at first, Frank House a 6 and a 6 behind the plate, and Heft is a 7 on the mound with a .971 fielding percentage. Detroit plays for the bunt. Torgerson and Boone playing in. We're going to swing away here. Rivera at 259, 2 homers and 24 RBI. Let's see. For a rookie, Tribe fan says might do it for 76's rookie year. And Demos hopes that this Leo is a better disposition than Leo the Lip. So John, Midlife Crisis, said, I've sent a screenshot of Prince Jr. and Caden Fielder to your wife, asking if she felt old and if she's still kicking me out of the house. Yeah, Chet Lemon, we did a couple years of that, and we'll be doing another 80s season next year. How you doing, Sean? Rivera will swing away. Strikes out. Heft got him. A 1-2 fastball. 1 out. For Nellie Fox, hitting .296. 3 homers and 30 RBI. Tear 'em up, Tigers. There is a ground ball right side, a base hit. So Kaline will throw that back in. So the Shy Sox have a hit. Here's Minnie Minoso hitting .289. 13 homers and 49 RBI. Over the weekend, we will do how to set up an all-star game, how to put it in the schedule, and doll it all up. So Tuesday at 7 for the 1956 all-star game. It looks like that we are still on pace for an August World Series, which is when they're supposed to be, Ron. Pitch to Minoso. Minnie swings into left field. Back goes Maxwell. Charlie's got it. And Nelson goes back to first. 2 out for Dave Philly, hitting .244. A home run and 25 RBI. How do I pick the next season? Hopefully it's more streamlined than when RJL. We don't hold multiple votes. My thoughts are 81, but I gotta try to find a schedule for the missed games, or maybe 86 because it'd be the 40th anniversary. So it would be 81, or that's what I'm thinking about. Pitch to Philly, walked him. So first and second now. So it would be within the wheelhouse. Larry Doby hitting .275, 8 homers and 41 RBI. Doby strikes out. Heft got him. So he chased a hard fastball for strike 3. White Sox leave on 2. No runs, a hit, and no errors. We go to the second here at Comiskey. Detroit and Chicago scoreless. So Boone hitting .336. Ray has hit 15 home runs and driven in 49. Donovan starts the second. A ground ball to Aparicio deep in the hole. Throws to Philly, and Boone is out. So 1 away for Frank House. His brother Maxwell makes coffee, hitting .266, 6 homers and 18 RBI. His son was a doctor. The Reds got hose in 81. If you picked 87, demos. At some point, We might do 87. And I'd have to replay that game because that was we do the champions. The Mets opening day and the Red Sox opening day. After, I just remember being so upset. Clemens held out and he couldn't sign until May 1st. Although I think that they got him in earlier. And so, so how do you celebrate choking away a World Series? You start Bob Stanley opening day against Milwaukee. And remember, the Brewers started 13-0 in 87. Pitch to House. Struck him out. First for Donovan, 2 out. A 1-2 curve got him looking. 2 out for Bill Tuttle, hitting .245. 9 home runs and 48 RBI. That's a fly ball, right center. Back goes Rivera for the out, and that will retire the side. Tigers go down pretty much in order. After an inning and a half, Detroit 0, Chicago 0. So Moss, Esposito, Dave's all excited, and Aparicio to face Heft here in the second. Moss at .286, a home run and 9 RBI. There's a fly ball, right center. K-Line will make the catch, 1 out. So how we do a season is I figured out that I do one in my wheelhouse, so 77 to 93, and then I'll do the next year one outside of that. And that's how we got to 1956. Sammy Esposito hitting .198, no homers, and 5 RBI. To remind you, the seasons that we've done in the wheelhouse in year number 7 of Retro Sports Network, hard to believe, we've done 82, 78, 85, and 88. 91 might make it in there. We haven't done a 90 season yet. Win now howling at 22, right to left. Pitch to Sammy. Fly ball, left field. Back goes Maxwell. The wind's ain't that one, and that's gone. So say it ain't so, Sammy. You got your first home run of the year, nearly at the facing of the upper deck. Sammy only hit 3 in 184 at-bats in real life. And puts the White Sox on top, 1-0. They started 13-0. Oh, the Braves lost their next 9 after that. And one of those games was Juan Nieves' no-hitter. Snowing? No, it's not snowing here. It's 46. You know what follows 2 days of rain in Vermont? Not Louis Aparicio, hitting .249, 2 homers, and 28 RBI. There is a base hit in the right center field. K-Line and Tuttle go play that off the wall. That rolled all the way there, and Louis is going to get 3. Tuttle threw it back in. It's cut off by Harvey Keene, and Aparicio has his 3rd triple. So the White Sox timing Heft well. Here's Donovan at 114, not going to bunt here. Does have a home run and 5 RBI. I believe it was his brother a goalie? In 56, I'd have thought if you're going to make that joke, and that's where I was going for, it'd be his son. And remember, Tony was drafted by the Canadiens, or signed by the Canadiens. Pitch to Donovan. Struck him out. 3 for Heft. 2-2 fastball got him looking. Opening 9 for Billy. 39 pitches. Inning in 2/3. 3 hits. The home run to Esposito. A walk and 3 strikeouts. Rivera struck out his first time up. So you know what follows 2 days of rain in Vermont? Pitch to Rivera. Struck him out. 4 for Heft. So he settled right down after the home run from Esposito. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to 3rd at Comiskey. White Sox 1, Tigers nothing. So Bowling, Heft, and Keene to face Donovan here in the 3rd. Frank at 237, 2 homers, and 12 RBI. Son or brother? The time warp thing always. If it was a brother, it would have been an older brother. Dave, when was Esposito's rookie year? He's still dodging the Morlocks. Pitch to Frank. There is a ground ball in the whole first base side, and that is the first hit for the Tigers. So here's Billy Heft hitting .270 with an RBI. We play for the bunt. Philly and Esposito play for it. 87 Brewers started 17-1, 20-3, and then lost 12 in a row, and 16 of 18 to drop to 23-21. That was the year the Tigers should have won the pennant. Heft drops one down. Moss throws to Fox. And what does the Fox say? You're out. One away. So 2-4 on the bunt. Here's Harvey Keene. He's 0 for 1. Donovan, 37 pitches, 2 1/3, 9 batters, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Never got higher than third place after that. That was the year that Kirby had the monster, 11 RBI in 2 days and went 6 for 6. That was Demos being serious. That was a result of Molitor going on the DL. Such a key cog wherever he went. Pitch to Keene. There's a fly ball right field. Back goes Rivera, and that ball is gone. That is into the upper deck. Harvey hit that one high into the wind. And it's 2-1 Tigers. So for Keene, that's his 7th of the year. And he went the opposite way with it. My word. The better World Series would have been the Tigers and the Giants. That would have been a good one. Indians on the cover in 87. I remember that, Sports Illustrated. Then lost 101 games. Not that Tim is bitter about that or anything. I always felt if a Molitor being injured, then Trammell would have won the MVP. Again, to be fair, if Tony Fernandez doesn't break his leg the last week of the season, the Blue Jays won the division. Torgerson walked his first time up. Donovan deals. Fly ball, right field. Rivera, the wind knocked that one down, and there's 2 out for Charlie Maxwell, who's 0 for 1. Mike in the truck, how are you? Center field, Doby. That was hammered, but right out Larry, and that will do. However, a 2-run homer from Harvey Keene, 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. On a Friday, it's 2-1 Detroit. So what follows 2 days of rain in Vermont? 2 more days of rain. We have had measurable rain in all 9 days this month in Burlington. Just crazy. Nellie Fox single his first time up. That is ripped into center field, and he has got another single. Hard to believe. I'm not sure the game will ever be able to get this right. He only struck out 14 times in all of 56. That wind is now blowing directly in from right at 22. Manny Minoso is 0 for 1. Manny Lee at short was not the same. That's true. By today's standards, Dwell Alexander finishing the year at 8-0. Although, John, how you doing, Triple G? Didn't Sutcliffe get it in 84 in the National League? Minoso into right. K-Line going back. Again, that's hit hard into that wind, and Al is there. And Nelly brings it back to first. K-Line, a leaping catch against the wall. 1 out. And Al has made 20 great plays out there. Here's Dave Philly. He walked his first time up. One of the only walk allowed by Heft. Philly rips this one into left center for a base hit. Maxwell will hold Fox at second. And here's Larry Doby, who struck out his first time up. The thing about 81, if we went in that direction, is that obviously there would be no split season, and a very good chance that all 4 of those playoff teams don't make it. Pitch to Doby. There is a slow chopper down to first. Torgerson takes it himself, and Doby beat it out. He did flip it to Heft, but Doby beat it out, and the bases are loaded, 1 out. I think Earl was betwixt and between on what he wanted to do, and he ended up flipping it to Heft, and it was too late. So the bases are loaded, 1 out for Moss. So Minoso on third. I'm sorry, Fox on third. Philly on second, and Doby on first for Moss, who's 0 for 1. You could use the... How'd you shoot the other day, Triple G? That is true. There is no one really close to Sutcliffe that year in the NL. Wow. Todd B says, in a serious moment, a very special Todd B post. Billy Buckner and Mike Scioscia never struck out 3 times in a single game. Yeah, Gooden could have won it his rookie year. Larry and they were the Doby brothers. Oh. Just 1 minute of real chat. Real chat. Pitch to Moss. There's a fly ball left field. Back goes Maxwell, and that ball is gone. Open up the window, pull out the Ryan, the salami. That is a grand slam for Les Moss. And it's 5-2 White Sox. Miska Muska Musketeer. That one was just a T-ball that Moss just absolutely crushed into that first deck. And it's 5-2 Chicago. Whoa, listen to the music. Sammy Esposito homered his last time up. He now has hit 1 on the year. That was his first, and driven in 6. Yep. 84. Oh, that's not bad. No Moss? No, less Moss. Thank you, Roberto Duran. But if you hit 2 in a row on it, what was the par on the 13th? So that's not bad. They need the rain out where he is on the prairie. We'll ship you some. Pitch to Esposito. Sammy sends this one into right. K-line had to go back to make the catch, and there's 2 out for Aparicio, who tripled his first time up. Okay, so par 5. So I'm assuming you put up a snowman or a 9. Fly ball, left field. Maxwell turns and watches it go fair. Oh, that just hit the top of the wall, and I think Aparicio thought it was gone. I think he watched it. Now, they say he tripped around first. I think that covers for him. So the White Tigers get lucky in a way, but I think Aparicio just got kind of caught watching it and get held to a single. Oh, you had a 10. So if you take the 2 strokes off, that's an 82. And you said you were an 11 handicap? Or your driver was your handicap, I remember. Dick Donovan 0 for 1. He has struck out once. Throw back to first, and Aparicio is back. Ernie Witt was hurt that last week too, but Ernie was just a spark plug. When we did 85, he was so crucial for the Jays. Pitch to Donovan. Struck him out. That's 5 for Heft, but it's been a bad inning. The grand slam by Les Moss. 4 runs on 5 hits and no errors. We go to the 4th here at Comiskey. The White Sox 5, the Tigers 2. 4 strokes for penalties. Oh, so, all right. So you should have shot an 80. Don't make me say that fast again. Well, hopefully you had fun. other day, I posted on Facebook AI picture of a kid. If you want to teach someone how to get to relax or how to be frustrated while they're trying to relax, hand the kid a fishing pole. And I wrote, hey kid, learn how to use a putter. K-Line's 0 for 1, fly ball right field. Rivera going back, and Jim made the catch. Is Donovan hurt? He is. No, it's a foul ball. That's tough to have a pitcher come in the middle of an at-bat. But Donovan turns to the dugout and says, I've got blisters on my fingers. And they ask, are you Ringo Starr? No, 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 I don't drum no more. So who are we going to go with? We're going to go with Howie. So Pullet gets as much time as he needs to warm up. As Comiskey Park just kind of sits in silence. Howie has finished all of his starts for the year. 1-2 with a 6.08 ERA, his 9th appearance. And he's only here another 4 days. So his last appearance for Chicago. 35 years old, the former Cardinal ace throws a Bugs Bunny fastball at 82. And is a fly ball pitcher. He last went on the second against these Tigers in Detroit. 3 2/3 in a 7-1 loss. 82 pitches. 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer. He walked 3 and struck out 2. A day of golf is always better than a good day of work. You really didn't like me doing the fishing, didn't you? It's a strange thing to do, but Al Kaline is 0 for 1. 7-game hitting streak for Al. Ground ball to short. Aparicio over to Philly. And K-Line is retired. So 1 out on 1 pitch. Here's Ray Boone. Ray is 0 for 1. That is a fly ball to right. Rivera will come in, ride the Schwinn, make the catch. 2 out for Frank House, who struck out his first time up. There's a base hit in the hole left side. So Pullet is going to get his 75 pitches in mid-relief. Tuttle 0 for 1. Don't forget, over the weekend, we'll show you how we set up an all-star game and doctor everything up and get ready for the 1956 Midsummer Classic, Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on Retro Sports Network. Bill Tuttle is 0 for 1. Struck him out. So a 2-2 fastball got him looking, and after 3.5, no runs, a hit, an injured pitcher, no errors. It's the White Sox 5, the Tigers 2. So here are the standings. Again, Detroit, Chicago, and Cleveland are all tied for first, although Chicago is technically ahead. The Red Sox 2.5 back. The Yankees have matched the Red Sox in the win column. 4 back, but they're in 5th place. And Balmer, Washington, and waiting for Lenny Dawson in Kansas City. In the National League, the Dodgers up by 6 on Milwaukee, 14 on Cincinnati, 16.5 on St. Louis, and then you kind of see the rest of it there. I believe we're going to Washington for the All-Star game, Andrew. And Parallel League was just reading it. The Saber bio on Sammy Esposito was a good 3-sport athlete at Indiana. Jim Rivera will lead off the 4th. 18 batters deep for a heft. 3 innings, 8 hits. Not a good effort. The 2 home runs, the solo homer from Esposito, and the grand slam from Les Moss. He has walked 1 and struck out 5. 2 of them being Jim Rivera. There's a ground ball to Harvey Keene, who goes over to Torgerson. Rivera's running for the out. I thought the All-Star game was, rest up for the con. I thought the All-Star game was in Brooklyn, but that might have been 57. 84 degrees. Here's Nellie Fox. Has singled twice and scored once. That is a ground ball up the middle, so Nellie is 3 for 3. Just a contact hitting machine. And 192 real life hits. Here's Minoso. Minnie is 0 for 2. And he draws the walk, so Heft not pitching with a lot of heft today. Here's Dave Philly. Dave is singled, walked, and scored. He's 1 for 1. Heft deals, and there is a ground ball to the mound. Heft throws it to Torgerson, and that was out on a bang-banger. I wasn't sure. 2 out for Larry Doby. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to be lost in a rock and roll. Let's drift away. Oh, that was Doby Gray. Doby singled and struck out. Left center field. Back goes Tuttle, and he'll make the catch. White Sox, no runs, a hit. They've left on 6, no errors. And after 4, Chicago 5, Tigers 2. So Bowling, Heft's spot, and Keene to face Pullett. Frank singled and scored. There's a ground ball to Esposito. Sammy throws to first. 1 out. For Heft, who bunted his first time up, stays in the game. Struck him out. So 2 for Pullett. An 0-2 fastball right in there at the knees for Harvey Keene. Harvey 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Hit that home run in the third, his last time up. So he now has 7 on the replay and driven in 35. There's a ground ball to short. Aparicio throws to Philly, and we're halfway home on a rainy, crappy day in Burlington. White Sox 5, Tigers 2. Ow. Finish the book on Sammy Esposito as the winningest coach in North Carolina State history, managing the baseball team and had some success there with the basketball team. I'm assuming that was before Jim Valvano. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the White Sox. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Tigers. Chicago got on the board in the second as slamming Sammy Esposito hit a home run, his first of the year, to make it 1-0. Tigers went ahead in the third. Harvey Keene a 2-run homer to make it 2-1. Rare for Comiskey, especially the original one, to be giving up a lot of home runs. But all 7 runs in this one have come via the home run, including Les Moss's grand slam, to make it 5-2. Dick Donovan got hurt. 3 innings for the White Sox starter, 2 hits. Both the runs came on the homer by Keene, and a walk and a strikeout. Pullett, 2 innings, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. And Heft, he's just not pitched all that well. 4 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned. The 2 home runs he's walked 2 and struck out 5. Speaking of grand slams, here is Les Moss. He's now driven in 13. 1 for 2 today. Yep. You know, the interesting thing is, as the new pope who doesn't put ketchup on his hot dogs, is a White Sox fan. He grew up in the south side of Chicago. I saw a few interviews with his brother. And, of course, the tie-in to sports outside of him being a White Sox fan, as opposed to a Cub fan, is until 1960, the Cardinals played here at Comiskey. Or 1959. Their last year they played at Soldier Field. So we're watching a game from 1956 in the south side of Chicago, and the football team is the Chicago Cardinals. Pitch to Moss is a walk. So a leadoff walk. That's the third allowed by Heft. Here's Esposito. Sammy has homered in this one. That came in the second. He is 1 for 2. That is up the middle. Keene can't get there, and the White Sox continue to time Heft well. And since we're in Chicago, it would be Elgin time. Louis Aparicio has singled and tripled. Now has 3 on the year. First and second, Aparicio double play ball. Bowling only has a play at first, and Louis is retired. So Moss and Esposito move up 91 out for Howie Pullett, who will bat here. 2 for 7. Remember, Howie is done with Chicago in about 5 days. Does that mean that the next Pope has to be a Rockies fan? I'm not sure that anyone who would become a Pope at this point would be old enough to have been a Rocky, or young enough to be a Rockies fan from the start. There is a base hit in the center field. Mawson scores. Esposito is going to run on Tuttle. The throw to House gets away from everybody, and Pullett's on second. So Tuttle commits a 6th error of the year. The Tigers getting a bit of stage fright being on the stream. It's 7-2 Chicago on the single in the air from Howie Pullett. So Heft, 27 batters deep into this nightmare of a start. 110 pitches, 4 1/3, 11 hits. He's allowed 2 homers. The solo shot from Esposito and the grand slam from Moss. He has walked 3 and struck out 5. Rivera has struck out twice. He's 0 for 3. Yeah. There is a ground ball over Torgerson in the hole in front of K-Line. And Howie's going to hold at third. And so the White Sox have Heft's number. And they are calling 867-5309 for this one. Nelly is 3 for 3. Fox has singled 3 times and scored once. And while we're praying, say one for the Cavs. Yeah. Cody says they can't imagine anyone faithful enough to the Rockies also being faithful to make it to the Pontiff. You never know. House and have to have a word, and that is strikes. Goes the opposite way to third. Boone. They'll go for the easy run. Bowling for 1, and Nelly's going to reach as the throw to first is laid on the fielder's choice. So that'll do it for Heft. Old friend Walt Masterson coming in to pitch. 8-2 Chicago. So Walt Masterson, nice glasses, dude. Bullfrog is 36. He's only been with the team a couple months. 85-mile-an-hour fastball, ground ball pitcher. Everything he did was out of the pen for Detroit. 0-0 with a 1.59 ERA. Pitched last night in a 12-7 win over the White Sox. He threw 3 pitches. Overall, 22 2/3. 16 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He's allowed 2 homers. He's walked 13 and struck out 15. Being faithful to the Rockies must be so unrewarding, Cody says. Cannot imagine mustering faith in anything else. Imagine being a Pirates fan. That's true. I bet travel was difficult back then. Eisenhower just signed the Federal Highway Act. Well, there's a reason outside of Kansas City here why everything was pretty much, you could draw, the country into quarters, and Major League Baseball being right in there, and that upper right quadrant. Up until the 70s, American League teams didn't do away games from Kansas City. I think they finally had to get that team into L.A. to do West Coast television, or to do Kansas City TV. Minoso is 0 for 2 with a walk. Runner on first, and Minnie draws the walk. Bullfrog has a tendency to leave ducks on the pond. Cody says, true, being a Pirates fan post-79 hasn't given much of a reason to be hopeful. You like your new manager? Here's Dave Philly, 1 for 2. He has walked and scored. Popped up right field. K-line going back. That's more than a pop-up. Al makes the catch, and that will do. Well, White Sox add 3 on 3 hits and an error, and we go to the 6th. Chicago 8, Detroit 2. So Torgerson, Maxwell, and K-line to face Pullet here in the 6th. It started about here. The Dodgers were the first team to buy a plane when they were still in Brooklyn, and I think that was a direct shot across the bow. The Jets, and we're not talking Winnipeg or New York, started to become a thing in the 50s, and the 707 made cross-country travel easier. Pitch to Torgerson. Struck him out. That's 3 for Pullet. Full count fastball got him swinging. Here's Charlie Maxwell 0 for 2. How you doing, Kurt Berglund? But really, after the National League expanded or moved out west, teams kind of had to do it. And when the American League expanded in '61, they put a team out in L.A. I'm not sure who they would have paired them with if you'd have done Kansas City and then Los Angeles, or vice versa. Pitch to Maxwell. There is a base hit in the right center field. Rivera will pick it up, and Charlie will hold with a single. 1 out for K-line, who's 0 for 2. Seattle was out there for 1 year, 69. Oakland moved out in 68. So that would have made it easier. You could have done L.A. and the Bay Area on a road swing. And then Seattle permanently came out in 77. Pitch to K-line. There's a fly ball, left center. Doby coming in, makes the catch for the out. A brief Google, Cody says, about plane travel yielded a Sabre article from 2006. Oh, nice. Pirates had their chances in the early 90s. Although, as a Reds fan, I'm sure it didn't break your heart in 90. Ray Boone is 0 for 2. Runner on first is Maxwell, 2 out here in the top of the 6th. 8-2 Chicago. Pullet deals. And there is a ground ball to Esposito. Long throw to first. Boone's trying to run, and Ray's out. So that'll do it. Tigers go down. No runs, a hit. They've left on 3. And after 5.5, it's Chicago 8, Detroit 2. So Doby, who got me to sing today, moss. Remember, Rolling Stone doesn't gather any moss, but a grand slam will get you some chicks. And Sammy Esposito here in the bottom of the 6th. That wasn't even close, Ron. Larry 1 for 3 today. He has singled and scored. And Larry draws the walk. So Masterson pitched in Boston and Washington, maybe Philadelphia too. Les Moss hit a grand slam today. He has scored twice and walked. He's 1 for 2. Up the middle, might be two. Keene steps on second for one. The throw to first, and Moss is out, safe. He is safe. He beat it out. So Keene 6U on the fielder's choice. One away for Esposito. Sammy has singled, homered, driven in the 6th run, and scored twice. Struck him out. First for Masterson. Masterson can only give you 30 pitches. He would bat 4th in the 7th. Aparicio has had himself a good day. He is 2 for 3. He has singled. He has tripled. Wire-to-wire Reds in 1990, Parallel League says. I liked that team. I bet you did. I got to sit in the when the Cincinnati paper interviewed Tom Browning for the best Riverfront moments. He had some good. I bet he had some great Lupinella stories. The core of that team, Parallel League, I don't know if you've heard me talking about it before or not, played up here in Burlington. The Reds played up here 4 years or 3 years, and they won 3 straight Eastern League titles. That was after the team moved up from Waterbury, Connecticut. Pitch to Aparicio. Louis strikes out. Masterson's through 6. No runs, no hits, and no errors. White Sox have left on 9. We go to the 7th, 8-2, Chicago. So House, Tuttle, and Bowling to face Pullet here in the 7th. Frank 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. That's ripped up the middle, but right at Larry Doby for the out. 1 away for Tuttle, who was 0 for 2 with a K. Struck him out. That's 4 for Pullet. How about that? And 0-2 fastball got him looking. So 2 out for Bowling, who was 1 for 2. Frank has singled and scored. Fly ball, right field. Back goes Rivera. And we're at stretch time, 8-2, Chicago. Is that where their AA team now is in Dayton? Apparently just got a poster with all the Reds' talent in Dragons uniforms. I gotta say, when we did 88, by the way, Pullet singled home 2. Now it's 5 RBI in the replay. 3 for 8. Matches real. You wondering about the accuracy of this game? 3 for 8. And 3 for 8. Pitch to Howie is a base hit in the right center. So he's 4 for 9. Here's Jim Rivera, 1 for 4 today. He has singled and struck out twice. Hindsight, of course, being 2020. Not surprised that the Reds did as well as they did in 88 in our replay, just because that team was so talented as far as so many of those people who excelled here in town were on that roster in 88. It's just how that season finished that irritated the snot out of me. I mean, how many times does a team blow a 5-run lead in the 8th inning of Game 7? Not bitter or anything. Rivera 1 for 4. Pull it on first, and Rivera draws the walk. We now have, Todd, interesting you should say that, Nellie Fox 3 for 4. He singled 3 times, driven in a run, and scored. We have a summertime collegiate wood bat league here in town. It's a developmental league. And Centennial Field, which Dave's grandfather Larry played in, opened in 1912, now has a corporate name. It is now the Delta Dental Diamond. Not sure how I feel about that, but it's a 10-year deal that will take us through the 2035 season. So no, we were We were Double A. They had the Mariners for a year or two. You've heard me talk about Ken Griffey Jr. taking batting practice. Pitch to Fox after House and Masterson have a word. Right field, shallow. Kaline will come in and make the catch for the out, and everybody's going to move back. They were short season A for 25 years. They were the Expos short season team in the first couple of years that the franchise had moved to Washington. And then we became the short season A for the Oakland A's, which was a very odd fit. And when Major League Baseball folded the New York Penn League, instead of going independent, they went into pretty much a half-season college futures league, and it has been wildly successful up here. Minnie Minoso has walked twice. He's 0 for 2. One out, bottom of the seventh. Minoso laces that one foul. And someone from the College of Coaches, not Cardinals, but coaches, made that catch. And it's 1-2. Reds teams in the 80s, good seats were always available. Oh, there were some not so good teams. Is there a train to the Dental Diamond called the Molar Express? I would expect nothing less from you. It's the Ethan Allen Express, and it goes to New York City. Pitch to Minoso is a bunt. No, check swing. Keene won't do a thing with it. So the bases are loaded again. I'm not sure what Detroit's pen is like. They have Aber. That's about it. Gromick, Moss, and Trucks are all tired. Philly 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and scored. Bases loaded. There is a ground ball past Torgensen into right field. Pullet scores. Rivera will hold. The 1944 NL manager or NL MVP Marty Marion managing the White Sox. Here's Doby. Larry 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out. The 2:30 Express. Yeah. Delta Dental Diamond. Doby struck him out. That's 2 for Masterson. And so he'll face Les Moss, who already has a grand slam today. He is 1 for 3. He has now hit 2 home runs on the season and driven in 13. Moss, center field. Tuttle will come in and make the catch, and Masterson got out of that with just a run on 3 hits and no errors. He better not bat here. After 7, Chicago now leads it 9-2. Would that be the Tooth Hurty Express? Ask Catherine. No, she was Aspen Dental. Never mind. You guys are frisky for a Friday. Masterson stays in the game. Oy vey. Flies out to Doby. DeMarco pulls out his hair. 1 out for Harvey Keene. Harvey 1 for 3. It was his home run in the 3rd that gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead. He now has hit 7 and driven in 35. See what you've started. I just work here. Pitch to Harvey is laced foul. Is it? Was that fair? That is a fair ball. That is a fair ball. Minoso has it, throws it into second, and Harvey has his 12th double of the year. Only the 5th hit for the Tigers. Here's Earl Torgerson. Earl is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. So Pullet, 4 1/3 of emergency relief. Struck him out. That's 5 for Howie. 2 out in the 8th. If they pull the pitcher after not pinch hitting for him, oy vey. Charlie Maxwell, Jack Benny's driver, right? 1 for 3 today. with a single. That is ripped into right. That will drop in front of Rivera. Keyed around third. He will score. And it will make it a 9-3 game. I'm not running the computer's running the Tigers. So pull it. We're going to see if we can squeeze out one more here. Al Kaline, although let me look to see. It would be first base I would change. White Sox are the home team, so they get my love and affection. Pitch to Kaline. Walked him. Okay, so time to pull Howie. And I want to do it for the catcher. I think we're going to change the battery here. So Howie comes out. Can't go with Wilson. LaPalme, who pitched yesterday. Dixie Howell, who pitched yesterday. We'll go with LaPalme. And we're going to change the battery here. So Sherm Lawler will come in to catch and bat in the 9-hole. So it's a new battery. We'll tell you about LaPalme or LaPalme in a second. Lawler, an 8 and a 7 behind the plate. LaPalme, nope. LaPalme is 33. Fastball at 86, a ground ball plus pitcher, making his 4th appearance. He pitched yesterday. Has an earned run average of 13.5, only because he gave up 3 runs on no hits and had 12-7 loss, 14 pitches, a hit, and 2 walks. So overall, LaPalme, 2 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. I had a pinch hit for him, but again, remember, when the day and age where you get a Sunday doubleheader and a holiday doubleheader, although the Tigers have plenty of good people on their bench. Boone is 0 for 3. Runners on first and second. Ground ball to Aparicio. Throws to Philly, and that will do. So they're not going to mess around. Oh, now they changed the pitcher. DeMarco is going to come in and pull my hair out now, except for I don't have much left. Al Abert coming in. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 9-3 Chicago. So Al has a 4-game hitting streak. He's 29 years old. Fastball at 85. An extreme ground ball pitcher. Lefty has 7 saves. Not going to get one today. He is 4-0 with a 1.71 ERA. Pitched yesterday in that 12-7 win. 1 inning. Got the win. 16 pitches and allowed a hit. Al, 31 2/3. 32 hits. 9 runs. 6 earned. 3 homers. He has walked 8 and struck out 7. Esposito, 2 for 4 today. Sammy singled, solo homer, and has scored twice and struck out. Aber starts the 8th with a walk. Well, that worked out well, right? So he is the last non-tired reliever. Aparicio, 2 for 4. Louis has singled, tripled, and struck out. That is a double play ball to Keene. Harvey to Bowling for 1, and Aparicio's going to reach as Esposito knocked him down. A roll block slide. So 1 out for Lawler. Sherm at 296. 2 homers and 33 RBI. Thought he had the day off, but with the double switch with LaPalme, Lawler went in the 9-hole. Aparicio on first, and Lawler draws the walk. For Jim Rivera, 1 for 4. Jim has struck out twice, walked, and singled. Goes the opposite way to Maxwell. Charlie retreats, makes the catch. And Aparicio's going to hold. So 2 out for Nellie Fox, who is 3 for 5 today. He singled 3 times. Driven in his 31st and scored his 48th. That's up the middle on the base hit. Tuttle will throw it back in. Aparicio scores from second. And it's now 10-3 Chicago. This is a pasting. I would make the joke and say something about a blessing in disguise, but I think we've kind of milked that one already. Minoso 1 for 3. He has singled and walked twice. That is popped up. House to the screen. No. And the count is 2-2. That is up the middle. Bowling has it. Throws to Torgerson, and that should do it for the White Sox in this one. They leave on 2. They get another run. They have now lead the Tigers 10-3. So we go to the 9th, 10 runs, 16 hits, no errors. They've left on 14. It could have been so much worse. The Tigers, 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error, and they have left on 5. LaPalme to face House, Tuttle, Bowling, and if anybody should reach, I'd imagine any one of their 9 pinch hitters. Frank is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. 7 to tie and 8 to go ahead. To right, Rivera. Not gonna chance an extra base hit. He'll let it fall in front of him. The wind is blowing in from right center at 18, and it's a hot, sticky day, 89 degrees. Tuttle is 0 for 3. He has fanned twice. Struck him out. LaPalme got him. A full count fastball, 1 away. For Frank Bowling is 1 for 3. He has singled and scored in this one. There is a ground ball to the mound. Fox for 1, and Bowling will reach. Yeah, it's late enough as it is. Nearly 14. Oh, this is dragging on to 1:30. Todd's been drinking the LeBlanc water again. 2 out for Aber. If he bats, he's 0 for 1. He will not back Jack Phillips. Who, as a pinch hitter, hitting 300. Overall, 287. No homers and 10 RBI. Bowling on first. That is a base hit in the left field. Minoso will throw it back in. They're going to try for the last out at third. The throw to Esposito. No. So last chance saloon runners on the corners for Harvey Keene, who already had a 2-run homer in this one. That came in the third. 2 for 4 today. And Lawler says, I want to get out of here. My day off. LaPalme deals. Ground ball to Aparicio. And it goes to Fox for the easy play. And the White Sox win a laugher here. 10-3. So 3 hours and 2 fake minutes. 10 runs, 16 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They now go to 41-30. They left on 14. Tigers fall to 42-33. 3 runs, 8 hits, an error. And they left on 7. Pullett gets the win, 4 2/3. Donovan injured after 3. So Pullett, 4 2/3, 4 hits, the 1 run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. What an effort. And LaPalme finished it off. Heft, not a good effort. Takes the loss, goes to 8-5. 4 2/3, 12 hits, 8 runs, all earned, the 2 homers. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Masterson was left to the Wolves, 2 1/3, 3 hits, a run it was earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3. And Aber, 2 walks, an inning, a hit, and a run scored. Wrapping up just in time for you to finish your lunch. So the rest of this Saturday in baseball, Giants beat the Pirates 2-1. Johnny Antonelli, 9-4. Bob didn't find a friend, 7-8. And Antonelli hit a 2-run homer, 1 for 3. Red Sox beat the Orioles 10-6. Tom Brewer, 8-6. Lowe's falls to 2-4. Tito Francona, in a losing effort, 2 for 2, hits his third and drives in 2. In 15 innings, my word. Milwaukee beat the Cubs 7-4. Sleeter 4-0. Hughes falls to 1-2. Ernie Banks 3 for 5, hits his 15th, and drives in 3. St. Louis down the Redlegs 6-2. Waymeyer 4-3. Klipstein 3-10. Kenny Boyer 3 for 5, 2 RBI, and a stolen base. Camilo Pascual shuts out the Yankees 3-0. He goes to 4-10. McDermott falls to 1-6, and Roig, R-O-O-I-G, 1 for 3, a triple and a walk. The Dodgers now have a 10-game winning streak. They go into Philly and beat the Phillies 11-3. Roger Craig is 7-3. Rogovin 1-9. And last but not least, the Indians, behind Herb Score, shut out the A's 13-0. And Herb, who remember started the year 2-6, is now 8-7. Ditmar 7-11. Wirtz, his 25th of the year, 3 for 4, and drives in 3. So, did we pick a game? So Brooklyn and Milwaukee will be the first game for us after the All-Star break. So that's Wednesday's game. And then Thursday's game will be the White Sox and the Red Sox. So the All-Star game Tuesday night in prime time. The 2 lunchtime games, Milwaukee and Brooklyn. And then followed by Chicago and Boston. So there you go. That is the first half of the season. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget Mother's Day Sunday. I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you. Well, you'll see me on tape over the weekend, but we'll talk to you Tuesday night for the All-Star game. So long, everybody.